Okay, so this is our first lecture on wind energy. So basically, today we are going to discuss about the syllabus of your subject. See, uh, this is uh, this is your subject syllabus. This is the audit course type syllabus. This subject is the audit course subject, which doesn't have any external examination or internal examination, any oral or practical examination. We just have to learn this course for your audit points. So see, there are total 6 units. Your first unit is basically deals with introductory part. Introductory part includes the history of the wind and wind electric generations. Then wind characteristics, everything, everything concept we are learned in your past. We are going to learn about the wind characteristics like wind speed. Then what are the measuring parameters used in case of wind turbines. So this is your basic unit. Then in second unit, we are going to learn about the wind measurement. What are the parameters comes under to the measurement during the power generation in wind turbine? That parameters, how that parameter should be measured with the different apparatus like anemometer and other devices like biological indicators and the direction of wind also. Okay. In third unit, we are going to learn about wind turbine power, energy, and torque. So in this unit, we learn how the power can be produced with the help of wind turbine, amount of energy required for the production of wind power, and what is the torque and power relationship between wind turbines. Okay. In fourth unit, we learn after generation of power, how that power is going to be connected with electrical networks. So this topic is covered in your fourth unit. Then, okay, the participants are added. Okay. Then in fifth unit, the wind turbine with asynchronous electric generators means whatever electricity or energy we are going to produce, that electricity should be connected with your electric generator in asynchronous manners. So what is the load to distribution ratio? That parameters we are going to learn in this unit. And finally, in the sixth unit, the economy of wind system. As we all know that wind energy is a part of renewable energy source, and the renewable energy source having high capital investment cost. So that's why how we can maintain the economy of the wind system that we are going to learn in this unit. So basically, all the 6 units are theory units. There is a no numerical. Some part like wind measurement and economy includes some small numericals like payback period in case of your economy of wind system, and in wind measurement some speed measurement and power capacity measurements are there. Okay, so this is all about your syllabus. Now today we are going to start your first unit, that is introductory part of wind power generation and wind characteristics. So here I will share the screen. Okay, so today we see the history of wind generation. What is mean by wind energy? See, in the last semester we were learn about the renewable energy sources in details. So there are many renewable energy sources. The most important renewable energy source is your solar. So after that, your wind energy. Okay. So here in this subject, we just learn how the wind is utilized to produce the electricity, and how that electricity should be connected with your electrical networks, and the economy of that wind power generation. Okay, so this is all about your wind energy and wind generation. Okay, so first we see the history of windmills. See, the wind is a byproduct of solar energy. Obviously, uh, in last semester we also learned the basic of wind energy and wind turbine power plants. So in that, I was told you that wind energy is a byproduct of solar energy because see, whenever the sun hits the earth's surface, the 2% of energy reaching at the earth is converted into the wind energy. Means the total energy available for the solar power generation. In last semester we were learned the scattering of the rays in atmosphere. What are the obstacles present in the nature while we are going to produce the electricity from solar. So here the 2% of energy, 2% of energy is utilized to hit the surface, to hit the earth surface, and finally after hitting that energy is converted into the wind energy. Okay, the surface of earth heats and cool unevenly. So here uh, it is described that how the heated earth surface is going to be converted into wind energy. So after hitting the earth surface by solar radiation, the surface heat and cool unevenly. Unevenly means somewhere it is heated in large amount and somewhere it is heated in small amount. The gradient between the temperature gradient having a variation. Okay, so that earth surface heat unevenly, creating atmospheric pressure zone, creating atmospheric pressure zone. Okay, 18 members are invited. Then just 1 minute. Okay. Huh. So the Earth's surface heats and cool unevenly and creating the atmospheric pressure zone that makes air flow from high pressure to low pressure areas. Means what? When the sun rays are hitting, striking at the Earth's surface, that Earth's surface get heated unevenly, like having the different temperature zones and different temperature gradients at different places. So that zone makes the atmospheric pressures difference. That atmospheric pressure difference in which the air is flow from high to low pressure areas. Okay, and the wind has played an important role in the industry of human civilization. The first known use of wind dates back 5,000 years to Egypt, where boats used sail to travel from one shore to shore. So here is a historical part of wind generation. So 5,000 years back in Egypt, the sailors are used the wind for sailing their boats and travel from one shore to another shore. Okay, so we will see the detailed history. That first true windmill machine were used or produced. The circular machine have built early as 2000 BC. An ancient Babylon, there was a person in 10th century who produced a 16 feet high length and 30 feet height grinding grains in the areas of eastern Iran and Afghanistan. In that area, like eastern Iran and Afghanistan, in 10th century, 16 feet length and 30 feet height grinding grains were used for the wind generation. Okay. Also, the wind machines are also used in the 12th century. Okay. These two were used for milling grains. It was not until a few hundred years later that windmills were modified to pump water and reclaim how of Holland from the sea. Means what? After this, some peoples are developed the wind generation for the water pumping purpose. Okay. See, the multi-vane farm windmill of American Midwest and West was invented in the United States during latter half of 19th century. So this is all about your history part, that there are different persons who form different forms of wind turbine, and In 1989, there was 77 windmill factories in United States. So this is all about your wind generation history. So you should go through it once. I will directly move to the your typical modern windmill looks, that how windmill looks and what are the different parts of windmills. As we are already discussed this part in your RES syllabus, but still here I can explain. See, this is the image of a modern windmill. Okay, the windmill contains three blades above a horizontal axis installed on a tower. A turbine connected to a generator is fixed above the horizontal axis. Means what? There is a one vertical tower, and on this tower there are three blade system is installed, and this part is your nacelle. This part is called as nacelle, in which all your electrical and gearing mechanism is fixed. What are the different types of parts are attached in this nacelle, we will see later in this lecture. Okay, so move toward the next point. Like the weather in general, the wind can be unpredictable. We all know that the production, like sun, intensity of sun is we are getting the intensity of sun during some working hours, like from 10 p.m. Sorry, so from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in that period. So from this we can calculate the day length for solar radiation. Similarly, the wind is an unpredictable thing. We are not getting uniform pattern of wind during wind generation. It is the unpredictable part, and it is varied from place to place and from moment to moment. Okay, so the energy we are getting from the wind energy, it is not a continuous source of energy. There must be some slides and tracks during the production of electricity from wind energy. Okay, because it is varies place to place and moment to moment. Because of it is invisible, it is not easily measured without special instrument. Okay, so for the electricity generation, we have the constant velocity of wind, and in order to maintain that constant velocity, first we have to calculate what is the wind speed or what is the wind velocity. So generally the wind mills are mounted on the hilly areas where we are getting the high speed velocity of wind. So in order to produce the higher amount of power from this wind energy. Okay, so we have to measure this parameter for proper power generation or higher power generation in the hilly areas. Okay, wind velocity is affected by trees, building, hills and valleys around us. So there are obstacles in between power production. These are trees, building and hilly areas. Wind is a diffuse energy source that cannot be contained or stored for use elsewhere or another time. So we cannot store the wind, and we cannot just contain that wind, store the wind and utilize somewhere else. So it is not possible in case of wind. So these are the disadvantages, like wind velocity is not constant, then the sources obstacles in the system. But still we are using this source as a renewable source because it is a very promising, and it is freely available in the nature for the production of electricity. And nowadays we know the demand and supply gap between the electricity production is very high. So in order to fulfill our energy need, we have to learn about the renewable energy sources, and wind energy is also available at free of cost. That's why we are going to learn this subject. Now the next part is your classification of windmills. Okay, so history and the basics of windmill is covered. Now we move towards the classification of windmills. That how windmills are classified. So there are basically two types of windmills. First is your horizontal axis windmill and vertical axis windmill. Mostly horizontal axis windmills are used, but the vertical axis windmills having also their application in some specific areas. So what are those applications we are going to learn? See, there are two general types, horizontal and vertical. A horizontal axis machine has blades rotating on an axis parallel to the ground as shown in the figure. Okay, these axis blades are parallel to the ground and exactly perpendicular to this nacelle that mounted over a tower at particular height. Okay, then a vertical axis machine, like horizontal, a vertical axis machine has its blades rotating on the axis perpendicular to the ground. Means in horizontal axis wind turbine, the blades are parallel to the ground, and in vertical axis, they are perpendicular to the ground. Okay, there are a number of available designs for both, and each type has certain advantages and disadvantages. Means there are many different designs, but for introductory part, I'm just cover this basic design of your horizontal wind turbine, and your vertical wind turbine should be look like this. Your vertical wind turbines are look like this. These blades are perpendicular to your earth surface, and in this case, in horizontal axis wind turbine, these blades are parallel to the earth surface. Okay, so each design having its own advantages and disadvantages. So in the comparison part, we will discuss what are the advantages of horizontal axis wind turbine and what are the advantages of vertical axis wind turbine, and also disadvantages of both, and compare both wind turbines. Okay. However, compare with the horizontal axis type, very few vertical machines are available commercially. Okay. So here, one of the most important topic, one of the most thing is covered here, that for the commercial purpose, we are using horizontal axis wind turbine, not vertical axis wind turbine. But we have to learn the vertical axis wind turbine also. For commercial basis, just horizontal axis wind turbines are used. So keep this thing in your mind. So first we see what is the horizontal axis wind turbine. This is the most common wind turbine design. In addition to being parallel to the ground, the axis of blade rotation is parallel to the wind flow. Means like the blades in the horizontal axis wind turbine are parallel to the ground as well as parallel to the wind flow. Whatever wind is going to be flow on that blade, which is parallel to that blades. Okay. Some machines are designed to operate in an upwind mode, some with the blades upwind of the top. Okay. So what is upwind mode or downwind mode, that we will discuss in detail here. Just understand some designs are made to operate for the upwind mode and some designs are for downwind mode. Okay. So in this case, tailwind is usually used to keep the blade facing into the wind. So the wind in horizontal wind turbine, the face of wind turbine having the blades. So the wind flow is directly targeted over the wind blades in order to rotate that wind blade in proper manner with higher rotational velocity, and this rotational velocity of blade is converted into the electricity with the help of gear mechanism by running your generator. The shaft is rotating and producing the electricity. Other design operate in downwind mode so that the wind passes the tower before striking the blade. Means in upwind design, the wind is directly strike to the blades, and in downwind design, first it is passes through tower and then strike into the blade. Some very large wind turbines use a major driven machine, using some major driven mechanism that runs the machine in response to a wind direction sensor mounted on the tower. Like direction sensors are mounted, means in some wind turbine we can change the direction of that blade as per the direction of wind flow changes. So for higher power production or economy, to maintain the economy, we can sense the wind direction and change the flow of direction. Even during mounting of the tower, this devices like directional sensors are used to check the wind direction of the particular wind in that area. Okay, so commonly found horizontal axis windmills are aero turbine mills with 35% efficiency and farm mills with 15% efficiency. So horizontal axis wind turbines are generally used for commercial purpose, and here the aero turbine mills having 35% efficiency and farm mills having 15% efficiency. But these efficiencies are very less, 35% and 15%, but still we are using for the commercial basis horizontal axis turbine, because the source input source for the wind turbine is wind that is freely available in the nature. So that's why we are using it. Okay. Now we will see vertical axis turbine. So although the vertical axis wind turbine have existed for centuries, they are not as common as their horizontal counterparts. The main reason for this is that they do not take advantages of higher wind speed at higher elevation above the ground as well as the horizontal axis turbine. Means why the vertical axis wind turbine are not used commercially, just because they are not having the advantages of higher wind speed at higher elevations. Means in horizontal axis wind turbine we can mount a very high tower and then we can mount a blade over it, but in case of vertical axis wind turbine the height of that tower is very less, and the advantages of high wind speed at high elevation is not possible in case of vertical axis wind turbine. So due to this disadvantage, it is not generally used in the commercial manners. Okay, the basic vertical axis designs are the Darius, which has curved blade and efficiency of 35%, the Zero Mills, which has straight blades and the efficiency of 35%, and the Savonius, which uses scoop to catch the wind and efficiency of 30%. So this Darius, Zero Mill, and your Savonius, these are the designs. These are the different designs of vertical axis turbine having different efficiency like 35%, 35%, and 30%. A vertical axis wind machine need not be oriented with respect to the wind direction. So in this case, during mounting of this particular vertical axis wind turbine or during working conditions, we cannot change the direction or we cannot think about the direction of wind, because in this case the blades of wind are exactly perpendicular to the wind flow. So that's why this wind direction is not considered during installation as well as working of vertical axis wind turbine. So these are the difference of vertical axis wind turbine and horizontal axis wind turbine. Okay, because the shaft is vertical, the transmission and generator can be mounted at the ground level, allowing easier servicing and a lighter weight, lower cost tower. See, in vertical axis wind turbine, the remaining part like transmission system means gear system, then your generator, these parts are mounted on earth surface. Okay, on ground level. So they, if there is any fault, the maintenance is very easy in that case, because we have to maintain it on ground level. Okay, in horizontal axis wind turbine, it is mounted inside the nacelle and that nacelle is mounted over the tower. So that is most costly than that of the vertical axis wind turbine. Okay, and having that tower should having a lighter weight. That tower is having very lighter weight in case of vertical axis wind turbine, and in your horizontal axis wind turbine, that tower is very heavy. Okay, although vertical axis wind turbine have this advantage, their designs are not as efficient at collecting energy from the wind as are the horizontal machine designs. Okay, the efficiency of vertical axis is very less as compared to the vertical axis. There is one more type of windmill called cyclo gyro windmill with very high efficiency, about 60%. However, it is not very stable and very sensitive to the wind direction. It is also very complex to build. So in vertical axis wind turbine, there is a one machine that is cyclo gyro windmill, but it is highly efficient but very sensitive to the wind direction and very complex to build. So that's why this is not used in a commercial practice. So here you can see the vertical axis wind turbine. These are the blades. These blades. See here the wind is passing over the blades in perpendicular manner, and these blades are rotating in this direction, clockwise direction. See the section of the vertical rotors are. This is the height, and the blades are of bucket shaped blades. See this is the first blade. This is the second blade and third blade. They are having a proper bucket shape in order to that curve shape helps to move the wind properly, and striking this wind at the back side, the speed of that rotor increases. Okay, here a square section blades are used. So this is also a type of vertical axis wind turbine. Okay, so this is all about your history of wind turbine, then how the wind electricity generation is done. This is a byproduct of your solar energy. Then if here we see there the basic two types of wind turbines, that is horizontal axis wind turbine and vertical axis wind turbine, and their design. Okay, now we will see what are the main components of windmill. Okay, so this is the last part that I will cover, and then we will stop this lecture. Okay, so see this part is your hub part. Also this is called as the nacelle part. This is your tower. Inside the tower, housing tower, the wire connections are used. These are the blades. This is a 2D diagram. That's why you see the two blades. Third blade is having this side. This is your hub. On hub, that blade is mounted. This is your main shaft, which is connected to the gearbox transmission. And after gearbox transmission, there is a brake. And after brake, there is a generator. As the wind strikes this hub, that blade should be rotated at high speed. That RPM of that blade is converted into the high RPM with the help of gearbox transmission system. With the help of gears, we can improve the RPM of that particular blade, and then brake is utilized in case of stopping the windmill. Otherwise, there is no use of brake. This gear transmission connected to the generator. So this generator having the principle of EMF generation, that whenever we are placing a current carrying conductor inside the magnetic field, it produces the electricity. So on that principle, that generator producing the electricity, and after generator, this wiring mechanism is transfer this electricity from this generator to the battery mechanism or any high tension mechanism where the electricity can be stored. So inside the tower, this electrical wiring is fitted. Okay, so this is all about your function and main components of windmill. This is the horizontal windmill. The direction of wind is in this direction. Okay, so commercially we have to learn about this topic or this horizontal wind axis turbine in details. So whenever we are going to discuss about the windmill or wind energy production, the first thing that come in our mind is that we are going to discuss about the horizontal axis wind turbine, because for commercial purpose only horizontal axis windmills are used. Okay, see here the description of main components like rotor. Every component has its own function. Like rotor having the portion of wind turbine that collect energy from wind is called as the rotor. This portion collects the wind energy, so this is called as the rotor. The rotor usually consists of two or more wooden, fiberglass, or metal blades which rotate about the axis, horizontal or vertical, at a rate determined by the wind speed and the shape of the blade. Okay, So rotor having the blades, that blade should be made up of your wooden or fiberglass or metal, and these are rotating at desired speed, that is wind speed available at that particular point. Then the blades are attached to the hub, which is in turn is attached to the main shaft. These blades are attached to the main shaft. This, the blade are first attached to the hub, and hub is attached to the main shaft. Okay. Why these blades are directly not attached to the main shaft? For the maintenance purpose. If suppose one blade is out of service or having any difficulty to move, we can replace this hub, or we can maintain by separating this hub. We can change this blade and again connect it to the main shaft. That's why this hub is used for locating your this particular blades or mounting your blades. Okay, so this is the function of your blade. Drag design, like aerodynamic design. Drag design means what? Where the resistance of air is very minimum, and the air should help to rotate that blade with higher efficiency for the production. Okay. See, blade designs operate on either the principle of drag or lift. Drag or lift, there are two concepts. Drag means resistance to the movement, and lift, which provide the acceleration to the movement. So in order to increase the speed of particular object, or we are using lifting concept, and we are using aerodynamic shape for reducing your drag. Okay, drag is basically resistance to the moment. For the drag design, the wind literally pushes the blade out of the way. Drag powered wind turbines are characteristic by slower rotational speed and high torque capabilities. Okay, so this kind of wind turbine, drag design turbine having slower rotational speed but higher torque capabilities. Okay, the remaining parts like your lift design, then your tip speed ratio, are then what is the function of generator, transmission, tower. These all parts I will discuss in your next lecture because time is going to be out. So in the next lecture we will see this part in detail. Okay. So after completion of this lecture, I will provide you the recorded video of this lecture on your group. So watch it and also join your Google Classroom where I will provide the link of this video. Okay.